What's going on YouTube? CT Shadows here, and I'm here with my friend Justin Rodriguez, and we're going to be doing the first of maybe many podcasts to come in the future. And basically, I got the idea of doing podcasts from Team Dark Arm Monarchs, which I know personally. He did podcasts before, and he was trying to start them back up. And it gave me the inspiration to do these podcasts now. And I recently joined a new team with Justin and our friend Nick and our friend Roberto, and we're going to have a new channel up and stuff like that. So I think podcast is going to be one of the regular things that I do. And my friend Justin, I've known him for a while. I basically started playing competitive again around the same time that he did. So go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Justin.
What's up?
I said introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? It's Justin Legend Rodriguez. As you may know, it's me and TT Shadows doing a podcast. First one of many, and excited to be here. Great, I'm excited to be the first one.
Yeah, alright, so basically, this is just going to be all around just Yu-Gi-Oh! Related podcast, and I've been thinking about some topics to talk about, and as everyone knows, Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy came out not too long ago, and I'm really interested in like some of the decks that came out of there. Like the deck that I've been playing recently came out of Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy, and I feel like it's not one of the best decks that I've played, but I really enjoy playing this deck, and it's Battling Boxers. And another deck that came out of there was the infamous Elemental Dragons, Dragon Rulers, and they're basically shitting on everyone. And how do you feel about the Dragon Rulers as a whole? Do you think that they're too broken? Do you think that they need to get nerfed the next ban list? Because I don't think it's necessarily the dragons that are the problem, but the rank 7s that they made come out, like Big Eye and Dragosack.
The big beaters?
Yeah, I mean, the effect monsters, they have Big Eye takes monsters, Dragosack is almost impossible to get over.
Personally, I like the deck. I like the deck because they can do a lot of things. Like, you can just like beat down your opponent with the Dragon Rulers themselves. You don't really have to overlay and shit, but when you overlay into like constantly Big Eye or Dragosack, like the common plays, and when you just could overextend for like no reason, you have the match, you just overextend. That's one thing I don't like about it, and the way they get their effects, like off Gold Sark and all that shit, I just don't. That's one thing I don't like about it. So I kind of hate it and I kind of love it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like it's one of those things where the deck is good. It's obviously good because it's the best deck right now in my opinion, and I feel like if you're good with the deck, then you're good with the deck, and that's cool. And there's different ways to play it. If they run Valor, there's a lot of options in the deck. There's rank 7s, there's straight beatdown. They can make level 8 synchros with effect Valor. But I mean, the main plays are Dragosack. I don't think a lot of people tribute the tokens for Lad anymore, but Lad's a very good card in the deck. And I feel like what you said, most of the players, they know they have game, and they decide to overextend anyway, and that kind of bothers me. And I think it was the same thing a few formats ago with windups, where, they had the hand loop, and they could just loop you, and, do a bunch of shit, but they decide to loop you, and then Pot of Avarice, and then bring out Tyrus, and then just, do a bunch of unnecessary stuff. I mean, you have 2 cards in your hand, and they have a board of a bunch of windups and a Utopia or something like that. And there's not much you can do to come back from that. And I really hate any kind of deck that overextends.
I mean, it's also kind of like with the Mermails, but I think the Mermails are very slow this format. Like, they can't catch up to the Dragons. Because I think Dragons are just like, they're just all over the board as well. Because with Mermail, you just need hand control. You need cards in your hand to discard, to special this shit, and all that. And there's a lot of side cards for Mermails, but there's not a lot of side cards for Dragon Rulers. And hopefully, with Battle Pack 2 and Judgment of the Light, that's coming out in a couple days, couple weeks, we'll have some side cards for that.
I mean, I don't see anything coming out of Battle Pack because of it's just a bunch of reprints. But there was this one card that's coming on Judgment of the Light that I read about. I think it's called Mesmerizing Trap Hole, I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I heard of that archetype. That archetype can be really, really, really good.
I don't know if it's an archetype,
No,
but
it is.
it's an archetype.
Yeah, they're coming out with their insect. They're called mesmerizing insect. Blah blah blah. Like they let you use the whole trap cards, like bottomless trap hole, trap hole.
Oh yeah, I heard about those. Yeah. Like I read one of the effects, like the king or whatever, when it first came out, and it sounded really good.
Yeah, I like the queen. The queen does more shit.
I don't know about, like, I remember reading the king and like something else, but no, the card mesmerizing trap hole. It's a generic card. You can use it in any deck, and I think it's coming out of Judgment of the Light, and I think it's going to be a really good side deck card against dragons. And it's basically, this is what the card reads. I looked it up. When a monster on your opponent's side of the field was special summoned this turn, activates its effect, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that monster.
So basically, when they go Jago Sack, you just activate and they declare effect.
You just, exactly, it gets popped.
So it's just a bigger, better Veiler.
I guess. I feel like it's a better version. Not even better. I think it's just a different version of Breakthrough Skill. But in my opinion, I would still run Breakthrough Skill because here's the thing with Breakthrough Skill. And something like, Effect Veiler. These are the two cards that a lot of people are deciding to run right now because it's gotten back to the format. I remember Wind Up format. It was like Wind Up, Dino Rabbit, Chaos Dragon, Inzektor format. I think that was like 2 formats ago, where it was Chaos Dragons and Inzektors, and people were siding the shit and maining the shit for those decks. It was like, if you didn't main 3 Veiler and 3 Maxi, like you had no chance against those decks at all.
Yep.
And I think we're getting back to that, like right now. If you don't main 3 Maxi and 3 Veiler, you're fucked. And I think people right now are choosing between running Veiler and Breakthrough Skill. Personally, I like Breakthrough Skill. I don't know how you feel about that, but I think Breakthrough Skill is a better card because it's chainable in something that's not your opponent's main phase. You can do it during your turn, and you can reuse it from your graveyard during your turn, which is great. I think that's like really good utility for a trap card.
Yeah, Breakthrough Skill is absolutely a really, really good card. It's just that I think like traps aren't really relevant this format because not a lot of decks these days use traps unless because think about it because dragons only use like 2 or 3 traps, which is the Eradicator. The Mirror Mills only use 3 traps, which is either the Sphere or the Squall. And unless you're playing against Evil Swarm, I don't think traps are really relevant this format.
Yeah, I can see that. I feel like Breakthrough Skill, because I know dragons run Breakthrough Skill for sure, and I've played against dragons, and I've either the main traps I see them run is Breakthrough Skill and Compulse. I think Breakthrough Skill and Compulse are 2 of the best traps this format to run right now. Breakthrough Skill turns off Ophion if your deck relies on level 5, or higher monsters like Elemental Dragons. They rely on special summoning level 7s. Samurais, they rely on synchroing and stuff like that. Karakuri, they're level 7, level 8 synchros. And so I think the fact that Breakthrough Skill turns off Ophion, I think that's good. It's really good utility. Compulse gets around Dragosack because he can't be destroyed because of tokens. You can just bounce him. You can bounce Maestroke. I don't know how many people use Zen mains this format, but Compulse will get out to that. And I think Compulse is it's honestly one of the best trap cards because one of the
It is the best trap card. I made a video about it. I was ranting about that shit. About Compulse versus Warning. I say Compulse is a fucking better card.
See, this is the thing. I really like Compulse, and there's a reason Warning is at 1, which I honestly think was a fuck up on Konami's part. Warning should still be at 2.
Yeah.
But there's obviously a reason that Warning's at 1, and there's a reason that Compulse is still at 3. Now, Warning is the best, summon, negate, trap card ever. This is, you can have Compulse, sure, but if an opponent drops Tragodia on you with 6 cards in hand, your Compulse isn't going to do much unless you can swing for game if you Compulse it. But, Warning, it stops the problem and it gets rid of it, and I think that's good, especially with Exceeds, because with Exceeds, Warning stops the problem, and they can't reborn their monsters and shit like that. And I don't know if Compulse is 100% better than Warning, but I just know that Compulse is definitely the best trap card of this format. Just because it's so versatile. You can do that card. The thing about Compulse is it's offensive. It's offensive and it's defensive. And for a card to be both offensive and defensive, I think is really good.
Hey, they say that the best defense is a good offense.
I think it's the other way around.
Well, I'm saying it this way.
I think it's the best offense is a great defense, man. Oh man, but no, like I'm trying to think of some situations where Compulse could be defensive. Let's say you summon a monster and it's about to get bottomless. You can Compulse it back to your hand. That's defense. Or if you're going for the offense, if your opponent has a monster you can't get over, or they set a monster that you don't want to deal with, like Snowman Eater or Raikou, if you happen to know what it is, you can just Compulse it. You can Compulse Spirit Reaper, stuff like that, and you can just ram them for games. So I think a card that's as versatile as that is definitely needed at 3 or 2 at least in your deck. Almost any deck should be running at least 2 or 3 Compulse.
Or if they have a Stardust in a board full of monsters and you have a set Mirror Force, you just Compulse a Stardust and blow up their field.
Well, yeah, I mean if they decide to swing it, but it's I just love how versatile the card is. Now, right now, what deck are you running this format?
I am running Fire Kings with a Blaster engine, the Dragon Ruler Blaster engine.
Okay, so you're running the Fire Kings, right? This is like Garunix and Barong.
Yeah,
you decided to splash in some blasters?
Yeah, I splashed in some blasters, some Flameveld Magicians, I can get my Scrap Dragon and my Crimson Blader off. I also have, what else do I have? I run no traps in it. The only trap I have is Return from Different Dimension, because I banish a lot with Blaster.
Okay. Oh, wait, you main Return?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've heard of the Fire King deck, but don't you guys kind of need your graveyard?
I do, but I use Blaster as a last resort.
What do you mean? You use the special summoning effect as a last resort, or you use the popping effect as a last resort?
I use the special summoning of him as a last resort because I can just beat down my opponents with all my monsters, and if they get by them, and I have a graveyard full of fires, I can just banish, and get my blasters off.
Now I've seen a couple deck profiles, and I think I've done a couple deck profiles on your deck. Do you still run 3 Rekindling?
No, I main 2 German Rekindlings.
2 German Rekindlings. German. They have to be German?
They have to be German. Rekindling is too good of a damn card.
So you run 2 Rekindling right now?
Yeah, I run 2 Rekindling, and I replaced the third one with another Kieran, the Foolish Burial Monster.
The horse? The shitty horse?
The horse that you don't like.
Yeah, no, see, this is the thing. I don't know too much about Fire Kings, but every time I see someone running Fire Kings, they never run the horse.
Well, that's because maybe they don't plan on using any rank 3s or anything.
Okay, but honestly, how much do you need a Foolish Burial that you need to run, what is it, 3 of the horse?
I run 2 horse.
How bad do you need a Foolish Burial?
I mean, hey, I could put my blaster in there and get a beater out on the board.
This is my thing. How many? There's cards that you could be running instead of the horse that do the same thing, or not even that. Even they do the same thing, but are just better choices. Like, I'm not too familiar with fire monsters, but do you run Tenki?
No, I don't like any of the Fire Fist cards.
At all?
At all. I don't know why. I just don't like them.
But what's wrong with Tenki? I understand why you wouldn't like Bear and stuff like that because they're kind of slow. But why don't you like a search card? It's another search card.
I mean, because I feel like that if I'm going to be using Tenki, then I have to put in the Horn of the Phantom Beast again.
You don't have to put in Horn of the Phantom Beast because I think, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't run this deck, you do. I feel like Fire Kings, like as a deck, their mission is to like pop themselves and stuff like that. So they're going to be leaving and returning to the board constantly. I don't see why you would need a Horn of the Phantom Beast.
I don't know. I want to play as little traps as possible, and as little because I want all my cards to do something. I mean, yeah, I get a 100 boost, but I don't get any effects if I'm destroyed by battle. I only get effects from destroyed by card effect, and that's what I have all my spells and traps, all my spells for.
That's the thing. The horse isn't popping anything. This is my thing. How many Barongs do you run? You run 3, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you can take out. This is just my opinion. You don't have to obviously listen to me. But you can take out the 2 horses and put in 2 tankies. And then if you honestly really need the Foolish Burial effect, I know you run Lava Volt Chain. I think Lava Volt Chain plus, I'm assuming you main a deck of Foolish Burial, the spell card.
No.
If you need a Foolish Burial effect that much, just main Foolish Burial and rely on Lava Volt Chain. Like, the deck that I'm running, Battling Boxer, they have a card with a built-in Foolish Burial, headgeared, just like your horses have built-in Foolish Burial. Now, I personally don't main Foolish Burial because I main 3 copies of Headgear, which is a Foolish Burial for any Battling Boxer. But if I really need the Foolish Burial play to get like Glassjaw's effect off, I go into Lava Volt Chain, and I think my deck works out fine.
I don't know. I like to do a lot of fucking shenanigans in my shit.
Okay. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of the fire. Any of the fire decks that have come out, I didn't like them. This is the first fire deck that I've ever played that I've enjoyed playing, which is Battling Boxer. But how does your deck do against the meta right now? Prophecy, Evil Swarm, Elemental Dragons.
Well, against Evil Swarm, I'm a little tied with that because Ophion hurts and not a lot of my cards can get by him unless I just go Maestroke and I bug him and then run him over. But against Dragons, I did pretty good. Like this one time, I don't know if you know, but I sided in. My side for Dragons is Dragon Capture Jar, and that shit's hilarious for me.
Are you serious?
I'm being very serious.
You actually side Dragon Capture Jar?
Yeah.
They just overlay for something that's not a dragon, though.
No, but I use fuck. I forgot. Let me get my shit.
Oh god. Why do you side Dragon Capture Jar? Oh fuck, he left.
Why do I side Dragon Capture Jar? Why not? It's a funny card.
Yeah, see, this is the thing though. If you're trying to win a tournament, I don't think a funny card is gonna get you there.
No, I'm not trying to win. I'm just trying to play.
Oh, you're one of those?
What do you mean I'm one of those?
Those like you play in tournaments and shit, where you're just like, oh man, it's just a game, man. I'm sure to have fun.
No, I mean, obviously I want to win, but it's like I'm not gonna like drop all my money just to win.
You don't have to drop money to win, dude. I think your deck is solid, and I just think if you've sided some different cards that you do better. Because I know you've topped before, so it's not a problem.
I guess. But yeah, against Dragons, I'm pretty good.
Right.
My matchup's a little bit in my favor. Prophecy, I lose terribly against.
Do you know why? Do you know why you lose against Prophecy?
Because that deck is broken.
No, come on. Like, if you're in a serious deck, like, situation where you have to play, Prophecy, when you look at that matchup, what about that matchup just says, fuck, I'm gonna lose?
I mean, when they go Judgment, and then they go Secrets, grab power, activate power, then do Master, Reveal, copies power, and they just set Fate, or they have a Fate in their hand or whatever, it just get too big. And then they get all the searches back. It's just too much. It's way too fast against me.
Do you think that deck is gonna get nerfed next format?
I think it should. I mean, I see Priestess going to 2. I see Spellbook of Judgment going to 2. I just think that deck is just too fast, because once they have the Judgment and a Secrets in their hand, they pretty much have game.
Yeah, see, this is the thing I don't like about the deck. Judgment did not need to be created.
Exactly. I don't know why Konami is trying to make a lot of money off this deck. They're succeeding, but they're just making too much money off this deck.
No, I think the deck was good, and it wasn't doing anything competitively. I don't know why. I think that deck was great. When Master came out, copied stuff, I think it was great. It was a decent deck.
It was fair.
Yeah, exactly. It was fair, exactly. I had no problem going against Prophecy with a deck that wasn't something like Samurai. Because a deck like Samurai it's basically auto-win against Prophecy if you can get off a first-turn Nat Beast or a first-turn Shockmaster. But this is the thing with Prophecy. They were good. Like I just said, they were good, and Judgment didn't need to be created, but for some reason, Konami felt the need to make Spellbook of Judgment. I think that the deck, it has 3 of every card they need. It hasn't been touched. It has 3 Magician, 3 of the Field Spell, which I don't think they use 3, but they have it. 3 of the Field Spell, 3 of the Secrets, 3 Priestess, 3 Judgment, which is fucking ridiculous. 3 Power, 3 Fate. Fate is another card that I hate with a passion.
Yeah, Fate wins them games mostly.
Yeah, it's like you get out your, like, right now, Battling Boxer, the deck that I'm running this format. I usually play Samurai, but, I mean, Samurai is just not good this format in my opinion. So, I play Battling Boxer this format. My boss monster, if you guys don't know about Battling Boxer, it's Lead Yoke. Battling Boxer Lead Yoke. And basically, the whole thing with Lead Yoke is he prevents himself from being destroyed in any way. And then he boosts his attack up. So, if they have the Fate, they can just banish my Lead Yoke, and that's a big problem. And I'm not, bitching like, oh man, the card needs to be banned because it fucks with my deck in particular. But it's just, I feel like such an overpowered deck doesn't need all these fucking cards. Like,
to make it even more powerful.
Exactly. I think that a deck that had, 3 of a Hyperion, basically. Priestess is a Hyperion. You banish a card, you pop card. That's what Hyperion does. It's basically a pseudo Dark Arm Dragon. Dark Arm Dragon does the same shit as Hyperion and Priestess. So you have a deck that has a really good boss monster that has basically a joke of a summoning condition. Just reveal 3 spellbook cards. It's fucking ridiculous. And then you give it a Rhoda in Secrets. Searches basically any spell card in their deck. Then you give it a Rhoda as a monster, which does the same shit, which is a little level 2 guy. And you give it a Field Spell, which recycles all their cards and gives them a +1 every turn. Then it's like, okay, this deck has a pretty good card. It has a Priestess, it has the Field Spell, and it has the Secrets. And it has the power, it gives them 1,000 in searches. Wow, this is pretty good. And then they come out with Secrets. With Master. Master's like, oh, you get to use your spell cards twice in one turn? That's pretty stupid. Okay, so this deck just got better. And then they announced Judgment, and I was like,
yep.
Why? Why did this card need to be made? It's not fair.
Yep.
It's not fair that I start my turn with 6 cards, and you start your turn with 6 cards, and by the end of the turn, you've thinned out your deck by like 15 cards.
Yeah, and aren't they coming out with another card?
Yeah.
Like the Judgment Dragon equivalent?
Yeah, I'm not sure 100% what the effect is, but it's basically like Judgment Dragon.
I think it's if you banish 3 or whatever from your...
Do you remember the name of it?
I think it's called Sophia.
No. Sophia's the big bitch that you tribute like a fusion and a ritual and a synchro. It's in Judgment of the Light. Let me just look up Judgment of the Light. But while I'm doing that, right now, what's your favorite? It doesn't have to be your deck, but what is your favorite deck to play this format?
This format, I would have to go with Mermail.
You think, like, if you could make Mermail, that's the deck you would make?
Yeah.
Is there any reason you haven't made Mermail?
I mean, I could have made Mermail remember when I bought that box and I pulled the Megalo, the ultimate lens and everything?
Yeah.
I could have made it, but I was playing Agents at the time, and I really liked Agents. That's when I went made top 2.
Oh, okay.
That format. But yeah, I mean.
So is there any reason that you haven't made Mermail?
Not really. It's just I find it. I mean, now with Megalo being reprinted and shit, I think I might make Mermail. I just gotta get pick up some big guys and.
Yeah, I think that's like still a really expensive card, man. What is Big Eye at right now? It's like in the 100+ area, isn't it?
Yeah, last time I checked on Cool Stuff, I saw 120.
That's ridiculous on our locals website.
Yep.
And then I think Dragosack actually dropped. I think he's in the 90s right now.
Dragosack?
Yeah, because, I mean, the set is still being sold. I mean, I haven't seen an Abyss Rising pack in a long time. I think that has a lot to do with the price jump of Big Eye.
Oh, Big Eye came in Galactic Overlord.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't seen Galactic Overlord on the longest. I think that has a lot to do with it. I haven't... Oh, yeah, I said Abyss, didn't I? I'm stupid.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Megalo. Fuck, I can't find the Prophecy card, but it was pretty ridiculous. It basically, like, destroyed everything, and then, like, you revealed a spellbook or some shit. But, yeah, I think, in my opinion, my favorite deck to play this format and it might be biased because I play it, but it's Battling Boxer. And I don't know, I just see this potential in this deck, man, and I think it's great. I think it's a great deck.
I think it's a great card too. I mean, you made what? You topped 8 with that shit?
Yeah, I topped 8 at my locals with Battling Boxers. I mean, you know what I actually played? I played the big 3 that day. I played first round. I played Evil Swarm and I 2-0'd them. Second round, I think it was a mirror match because Chef looked at my build on YouTube and made Battling Boxers.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it was a mirror match. I won that. Round 3, I played Prophecy. Round 3, I played.
Speaking of Prophecy, I found it. It's the World of Prophecy.
That motherfucker.
It's reveal 4 spellbooks and destroy all cards in field tip for this one.
See, that's ridiculous, right?
Yep, and when she special summon, you can target 2 spellbooks in your graveyard and add them to your hand.
That's so dumb.
Mm-hmm.
This is another card that did not need to be made. Like, it's so stupid. The Konami does this shit all the time. Like, I'm trying to think of other examples of cards that just did not need to be made. Like, well, there's 2 right here. There's Judgment of Prophecy and there's World of Prophecy. Neither of those cards needed to be made, honestly. And I'm trying to think of some other cards that didn't need to be made. I can only think of like banned cards like Fiber Jar. That card is ridiculous.
Card is funny. It's a reset.
Exactly, that card didn't need to be made. I mean, it was funny. You know, it's cool to play with it. You know, if it's a banned card and stuff. But honestly, that card is ridiculous. Another card that probably shouldn't have been made. I mean, when you look at it, when these cards came out, I mean, Fiber Jar will always be ridiculous no matter what format it is in.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at a card like Painful Choice, at the time it doesn't seem that bad. But then when you look at it now, it's like, oh, you mean discard 5 Dark Worlds and then add one of the 4 to your hand? It's ridiculous.
Exactly.
And then you look at a card that probably wasn't amazing when it first came out, like what's this card called? Fuck. Well, I mean, there's
Big Eye.
no, fuck. That's true. When Big Eye came out, he was like, I want to say like $8 to $10. And now that nigga's like, I mean, for a little bit, when Mermails came out, he was like $40.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Mermails made him, and people made him with Machina Fortress, and then they heard about E-Dragons, and that shit just fucking skyrocketed.
Just spiked up because they heard with Dragosack and Big Eye.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's so obvious that, you know, Konami was trying to make Elemental Dragons broken. I mean, other than, you know, them just having ridiculous effects by themselves, they released Dragosack in the same set. They released a generic rank 7 in the same set. Like, that's stupid.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that card, sure, it was made for Mecha Phantom Beast, but bullshit. It gets abused with dragons. Like, cards. This is another thing that I see with Konami that they do a lot. They make cards for an archetype just so they could be used by something else. A perfect example of this right now, other than Dragosack, Evolzars. Evolzars are fucking terrible. But Lagia and Dolka get used in Dino Rabbit. Another card, you know, that has its own archetype, but it's used in a completely different deck. I mean, you know, it had its day. There was a Lightsworn format, you know, back in, like, I think, like, 2009 or something like that. But around the time that I started playing, I started seeing Lightsworn again, and it's because of Chaos Dragons. Chaos Dragons used Lightsworns probably better than Lightsworns did. Now, I don't know, like, how honest that is to an extent, because Lightsworns had 3 Charge, 3 Honest, 3 Necrogardna, and I mean, they're pretty much at the same thing. They have 3 Necrogardna, and they have 3 Lumina again, 3 Judgment Dragon. But I think that the way Chaos Dragons used, you know, Lightsworns with the cards like Eclipse Wyvern and Light Pulsar, it was ridiculous. And I think that was a deck, in my opinion, that utilized Lightsworns better than Lightsworns utilized Lightsworns. Oh man. I'm trying to think of other archetypes that use that. Not like the thing about these decks that utilize other cards. Most of the time, they're not even archetypes. Like Dino Rabbit was not an archetype. It was just a deck based around one card, and that was Rescue Rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
and it happened to use
Torguide, Vanillas.
Yeah, it was just like a bunch of cards thrown together that on paper it doesn't sound too good. It's like, yeah, there's this card and it brings out these normal monsters, and there's this other card and it special summons another level 3, and it's like, oh, it's alright, but when you play it, it's like, it's ridiculous. It's kind of crazy how that deck works.
Yep, and it came out at the right time too.
Rabbit and Lagi and Doka all came out in the same set. That's another thing that when Konami expects you to use cards from an archetype in a different deck that's not that archetype, they always come out in the same fucking set. I'm trying to think of another card that didn't need to be made. Probably Wind Up Carrier Zen Mighty. Wind Up Carrier Zen Mighty was the first Exceed to get banned, and in all honesty, it probably shouldn't have been made. Konami didn't. I don't think Konami made wind-ups to make Exceeds work. Like, Exceeds were not super popular. I mean, Dino Rabbit was out, but basically Konami made wind-ups as an Exceed toolbox. And, they gave them level 5s, they gave them level 4s, level 3s. But they didn't expect them to just spam out Carriers and Mighty and do their derp shit. And then they put them to 1, and then we found out even more derp shit where we make one of the best Exceeds ever created, which is Shockmaster. And I think just Zen Mighty was at the center of all those loops and broken combos. And I think Zen Mighty was another card that just didn't need to be made.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I have to disagree because I like Zen Mighty. I just think that the card that didn't need to be made was either Wind Up Rat or Wind Up Rabbit.
What's so broken about Wind Up Rabbit?
I mean, like let's say you wanna you have a Wind Up Rat and I wanna push for game, but that monster's in the way. So I wanna mind control you, but you can just chain banish it and fuck, I can't kill you this turn because I want to use your monster as Exceed material. It's like I see Wind Up Rabbit as the impenetrable monster.
See, that's the thing with Wind Up Rabbit. I don't think Wind Up Rabbit is a problem at all. There's a reason that Zen Mighty is banned and Wind Up Rabbit is at 3. And I think the reason for that is that Carrier Zen Mighty, it's generic, so they can make it with Tour Guide, and they can get shit rolling from there. Now,
I didn't know it was generic.
Yeah, it was generic. You don't need 2 wind-ups. You can go Tour Guide, and there you go. You're set. You have your Zen Mighty. But here's the thing with wind-ups. If you look at wind-ups with their main deck, right? Their main deck, I think the best card they have in their main deck is like Magician or Shark, one of those, and Rabbit. Rabbit is up there. But without Zen Mighty, what plays do they have? They can make Shockmaster, sure, but you needed Zen Mighty to make Shockmaster. They could have looped your hand, but what was the card you needed to loop the hand? Zen Mighty. And I think the wind-ups without Zen Mighty are fair. I think if they put Magician back to 2, it's either at 2 or it's at 1, right?
Yeah, it's at 1.
I think Magician to 2 would be fine. Wind Up Magician to 2 would be okay because wind-ups without Zen Mighty, I think, in my opinion, are completely fair. And, I mean, with that, we can start talking about the September ban list. And I know it's kind of early. I think we're about 2 months away from the September ban list. What do you think is going to happen next format?
Alright, September ban list. I think what's going to happen is that either Big Eye or Dragosack are going to drop to either 2 or to 1. I think that Thunder King should go back to 3, because I think it at 2 is just unnecessary.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I don't understand why Thunder King was semi-limited last format.
I think Warning should go back to 2. I think it was perfectly fine at 2. I didn't really use the card that much, but whenever I did use it, I liked it. So I liked it at 2. So 2 would be fine. I could see either Heavy Storm or Dark Hole being banned, and
okay, that's where I have to disagree. I don't see Dark Hole or Heavy Storm getting banned. Because think about it.
Why did you say that?
Think about it. Dark Hole against. Let's think about against the main 3 decks right now. Dark Hole against Evil Swarm. They have Pandemic. That's instant blanket to all their Evil Swarm monsters. Against E-Dragons, if you Dark Hole against their Dragosack while they have tokens, the Dragosack stays, so it's not a problem there. And against Prophecy, they have the Spellbook of Wisdom. So against the 3 main decks, it's not a problem. Dark Hole is not a problem. And we talked earlier about how this format is not spell and trap heavy at all. The only deck that runs a lot of spells and traps is Evil Swarm. So Heavy Storm is also not a problem. I know a lot of people make the argument about Heavy Storm needing to be banned. And I think it's one of those things where Heavy Storm is a necessary evil. I think if we ban Heavy Storm, that's just going to, tell players it's okay to set 5 without protection because fuck it, Heavy Storm is banned. You could set 5 bluffs and your opponent would be sitting there thinking about what to do against 5 back row because
Shit bricks.
Yeah, to them, 5 back row is 5 back row. It's not 5 bluffs. You know what I mean? So I think Heavy Storm was one of the cards that need to be here to punish bad players for fucking up. And I think Dark Hole is the same thing. They need to punish bad players for overextending. That's just my opinion on those 2 cards. You can keep going.
I mean, I'm not gonna say you're wrong or anything. I'm just saying like that's just my opinion. And I also see I want to play Edens again, so I want my Earth to come back to 2, go back to 3, because we lost Sangan. A lot of decks lost Sangan, and it hurt. And I just think Earth is really not much of a threat. I mean, yeah, you get a search, but not a lot of Aegis players use the field spell, so they can't really grab a Hyperion. And what else? I think Mirror Force should stay at 1 because not a lot of decks use that card anyway. Because Starlight Road is a card.
Wait, you want Mirror Force to go back to 1?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
No, see, you just said a lot of decks don't use the card, so I think it should stay at 2. I think it's one of those things where if Torrential's at 2, Mirror Force is at 2, because Torrential's same thing as Mirror Force, but better.
I don't know.
Think about it. Torrential is chainable, and it's you don't have to wait for your opponent to attack. You just punish them for overextending by summoning a shitty monster.
I guess.
Do you run Torrential, or do you only run
The only trap is
Return? Have you gotten Torrential?
I mean, they have it on the board, but
they don't want to use it against you.
Huh?
They don't want to use it against your deck.
They don't want to use it against me because they can't. They don't want my effects to go off.
Yeah, I feel you, but that's the thing. Your deck has an inherent almost protection from Torrential because you just get all your effects off.
Yeah, but not only Torrential, Warning, Judgment, anything that destroys a card, they don't have to be physically on the board. If they're in my hand or on the board.
Oh, okay. I get you. So it's like Grandmaster. Grandmaster, if you're warning exactly. Grandmaster, you can still add something. That's great. I didn't know it was like that. I thought they had to be on the board.
Yeah, the only card that hurts is if I want to get my Garunix out of my graveyard, and if they warning it won't come out. Like, it won't get its effect.
Okay.
That's the only dark side to it.
I feel you. So any other predictions for the ban list? Prophecy, Evil Swarm.
Prophecy. I think the blue guy, the little blue guy.
Yeah, the magician.
Yeah, I think he should go to 1.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Him being at 3 is just too much.
Yeah, they have way too many search cards. They have way too many search cards.
Same thing with Spellbook of Secrets.
What, Spellbook of Secrets and the Magician 1?
Well, I see Secrets going to 2.
Yeah, okay, I can do that. 1 and 2, I think that's fair. I think they have too many search cards. They have 6. They have 6 search cards. 6 with the little faggot, and 3 with the little guy, and then 3 with secrets. Plus, they can use Master to just use secrets again, which is ridiculous.
And with power, they get to add something to their hand.
With power? Oh yeah. Power is another search card if you run something over, which they usually do, because shit gets really big.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Evil Swarm, I see the Lance going to 2.
Pandemic?
Yeah. I could see like another support card for Evil Swarm coming out.
I don't know. I think Ophion should go to 1.
Ophion?
Yeah, I feel like Ophion shuts down way too many decks.
That's true. I can see that happening too.
I mean, I don't see it happening. I honestly think Evil Swarms are way off of Konami's radar right now, with the top 2 decks, being Prophecy and E-Dragons. I don't think they're really worried about Evil Swarm, but yeah, I think Ophion's effect shuts down just by being Ophion, just shuts down way too many decks.
Meta.
Not even meta, it just shuts off. Like, if there's decks out there that are good that just get shit on by Ophion, Samurais can't bring out Xian. Karakuris can't bring out. They can't do shit. Karakuris are just instantly fucked if you bring out Ophion. Decks like Agents can't bring out Hyperion, can't bring out Christia, Gores, BLS, shit like that. They just inherently get shit on just because Ophion is there, and I don't think that's fair. That rhymed.
You're a rapper now.
Oh, no, but I'm not a rapper. How do you know what bothered me? I think it was either last ban list or the ban list before. Duality going to 2. When Duality went to 2, I had no idea why that happened. And I think Duality should go back to 3.
Same thing with Thunder King. I agree with you. I think it should go back to, what was it, 1?
What?
1? Yeah, I think it should go back to 1. Because...
What should go back to 1?
Yeah, Duality, right? That was at 1, right?
Duality was at 3.
Oh, was that 3?
Yeah, it's at 2 now.
Hey, well, whatever the fuck it was at before the...
3. It was at 3. It wasn't on the ban list at all.
Alright, so I think it should go back at 3 because... yeah... You can't special summon this turn, but it's also fair because you're showing what your opponent, what the top 3 decks are, the top 3 cards of your deck were, and what you added. So if I have a Mind Crush set, I can just, after you add it, I can just say, boom.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I don't understand why Duality is at 2. It has so many restrictions. You can't special summon. You can't activate more than 1 in the same turn. And you show your opponent what you add. You're giving your opponent a very slight advantage by them knowing what you have.
And especially if you Mind Crush it and you take that card away from them.
I mean, yeah, there's always a possibility of getting Mind Crushed, and I think Duality it's a very good card. I mean 2, but I think it should go back to 3 because of all the limitations it gets put on it. A card that I think should get banned though, Pot of Avarice.
Pot of Avarice, why?
Think about it. Plan Synchro. I mean, it was at 3, of course, when Plan Synchro was a thing, but Plan Synchro abused it. They get to pop off, and let's say you have a Torrential, and boom, you Torrential after they start overextending against, like, main phase 2, activate Pot of Avarice, send everything back, draw 2 cards. You basically just wasted a Torrential, and it's the same thing with wind-ups. They overextend, it's like Torrential. Okay, Pot of Avarice, draw 2 cards. I get all my resources back. It's like nothing happened. And I think that's way too powerful of a card. I feel like Pot of Avarice is very overpowered. And people say, oh, but you need 5 monsters. Like, yo, 5 monsters is not even a fucking requirement. That shit is easy. Especially if you just get Torrential.
Coming from a plant player.
Especially if you're plants. Plants Foolish and fucking Lone Fire. And then wind-ups, they just overextend, Magician, Shark. This is obviously last form, Magician, Shark, Magician Effect Special. It's like, that's 3 monsters right there. If I Torrential you, all you need to do is have another 2 monsters. It's not that hard to get Pot of Avarice. So.
Especially when they open up with Factory.
Yeah, no, Factory is just monster and monster. It's just crazy power. And I think Avarice needs to get banned. Another card that needs to get banned is, what's this card called? I honestly think, like, in my opinion, just fuck Judgment of Prophecy. Just fuck that card. Spellbook of Judgment. Just fuck that card. Just ban it. That card did, like I said, it did not need to be made. Fuck Spellbook of Judgment. I hate that card so much.
A card I could see coming back is Lone Fire to 2.
That's interesting. Do you see anything coming off the ban list entirely? Like, a card that was banned, like, Magician of, what is it, Dark Magician of Chaos, or some shit, D-Mok?
Oh yeah, I remember, that shit was funny.
There was a whole rumor about D-Mok coming back. I knew that, I knew that nigga wasn't coming back. Think about it. How broken would that nigga be in Prophecy? That's not funny, man. That's not.
You lose.
That's not fair. They just re-add their shit.
$50 off the bat.
Yeah, they can bring him out with Temperance.
Is that the one that specials from
yes,
the deck?
Special summons a level 5 or higher spellcaster.
That's dumb.
Yeah, exactly. So they special Demok, and then they add a spellbook, and then they just proceed to pop off.
But a card that I see completely coming off the ban list is either Glow Bull.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that shit because I disagree right now, like completely.
I just say Glow Bull because synchros aren't a thing.
Yeah, okay.
And
I hate. This is one of the reasons that I hate Elemental Dragons because Glow Up Bulb is OP as fuck in that deck.
Explain.
Normal summon Glow Up Bulb. Pitch 2 of the little fucks for a level 7 dragon. Synchro. Bring out another level 7 dragon by banishing 2 from the graveyard. Mill for Glow Up Bulb. Synchro. 2 level 8 synchros right there. Just because Elemental Dragons are fucking retarded.
Okay, I can understand that.
Yeah, it's just because of Elemental Dragons. I honestly think if Dragon Rulers were not a thing, Glow Bulb could come back.
Another card I see off is Sangan. Sangan did not need to get banned.
Nah, fuck Sangan.
I love that card so much, man. If Sangan was not banned, I would still be playing Agents.
Sangan searched every good card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sangan searched Rescue Rabbit. Sangan searched your Agent. Sangan searched Tour Guide. Sangan searched fucking... What's his bitches called? What is this? Oh my god, I forgot, but Sangan searched it. That's all you need to do. Sangan searched that shit. Sangan was like one of those cards that you set it and you're just confident. Almost no matter what they do, you're getting a search, and it's probably going to be one of your power cards.
I remember I used to do set Sangan go. They run it over. I grab Earth to my hand. I summon Earth.
It tutors too many cards.
Exactly. But I just remember when I went call the Haunted Sangan, summon Earth.
That's another thing. Search. You got to search off of Synchro. If they MS your Call of Haunted, you chain it to a Sangan. You got to search for free. I think it tutors too many cards, and especially those cards are good as fuck too. It's not like it tutors shitty cards. Like it tutors cards like Rescue Rabbit, power cards, going for game cards like Rescue Rabbit.
Battle Fader.
Nick, I'm talking about good cards.
Good cards, bitch believe.
Okay. I think you've been rambling on for a little too long here. Hopefully you guys enjoy this podcast. Hopefully we can make some better ones in the future. Obviously the first podcast there's gonna be, some awkward silences and maybe some shitty audio, but hopefully we can get it up and running with some more people. Justin, thank you for being part of the podcast.
No problem, man.
Yeah, and if you're watching and or listening, most likely listening, thank you for listening, and hopefully we can get out some more podcasts very soon. This is CT Shadows signing out. And
it's just the Legend Rodriguez signing out too, yo.
Alright, hopefully we get another podcast up soon with some better topics. Later, guys.